Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Just a few minutes ago, the trailer for the Doors Garden subfloor, officially named The Great Outdoors, released. So this will be kind of my final Doors theory video, unless they post more. But also a trailer analysis breakdown, just like we did for the old Outdoors trailer and Worth the Wait Part 1 for Pressure. Let's get right into it. So the first part of the trailer is exactly the same as it was in the original one. Just shows the player grabbing the shears, getting to the secret room in door 90, and then shows that beginning room with the fountains. Let's just skip through that real quick. By the way, I just want to apologize for the audio. I know it's pretty bad. I'm on vacation right now. That also may be a lot of background noise. Also, there seems to be a new song playing. I don't know how many new songs are going to be in the subfloor. I'll get to more on that later. Again, we already made the skeleton key. This is a subfloor. Alright, so now we get some new stuff. So the new song starts playing, and we see, so it seems to be more of a straightforward path here. You see maybe like folded lanterns, and if you looked a little bit ago, you could see one of those no stepping on the grass signs, which we theorized about earlier, but we actually got our answer to those that we'll see later. Yeah, that vine monster. Everyone's been talking about it. You can see it in the floor 2 Jeff shop and the floor 1 courtyard. And it seems to be giant here, towering over. Don't know what that's all about. Here you have just what seems to be a regular pathway. I gotta say, this looks cozy. But we'll see something in a minute here. Yeah, we got a lake and some lightning also. So we can see what I think happened here is that lightning struck a tree and it fell over. We saw this same exact thing happen in the first video, and I thought that maybe it was like a new lumberjack entity or something, but I think we get more proof that it was lightning. Here we have a Gravity Falls thing. But yeah, it shows a really cool water tower, and it looks so cool. And the lightning is strangely yellow or green. Maybe it has to do with Curious Light. Maybe it's just not regular lightning. We don't really know about a lot of the lore behind this place. I also do want to say, out of the Pressure and Doors subfloors or expeditions, this looks like it's going to be the best one. This is really good. I've always liked Pressure better than Doors. Sorry for all you Doors fans out there. But I always knew that Doors would get better, and this is exact proof, you know? Like, you'll see later, these animations, the scenery looks amazing, and that's how I know Floor 3, which I think's supposed to come this year. I don't think that's actually going to happen, though. Floor 3 is going to be immaculate if a subfloor is this good. Again, there's some strange red trees. I pointed out earlier. I don't know what the red trees could possibly mean. It's really strange. So here we have the crows that we saw in a few teasers. By the way, if you're looking for daily Doors teasers, check my shorts section of my channel. I made a daily short talking about each of the leaks that L-Splash posted. So we have these little crow buddies, beautifully animated, if I might add. And boom, the beat drop, and then we see our first we see our first look at an entity. Again, look at this animation. So we can see he seems to be walking with a scythe, and he has keys on his back. Now I gotta say, I found this kind of funny. Both Pressure and Doors, in both of their chases, being the Seek chase and Bouncer chase respectively, both have keys jingling in their running sound. For Seek, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. For Bouncer, you could say that he has like the keys to the Graveyard Gate or something, but I just found it kind of funny. And if this guy does have a chase, it would make so much more sense. Yeah, he looks so cool. So that is the Gardener that I talked about in the other video. And so I did one of my main questions from the first trailer was, why is this a subfloor and not floor 3? You know, like, what makes this a subfloor? But I think this gives us the answer. More into this trailer, we see how important this Gardener character seems to be. In fact, he might be the only new entity. And it seems that he is, like, you know, the boss that you face throughout the entire floor. Which, yeah, yet again, this might be one of the best subfloor / expeditions that we have seen. So here he is. I'm actually not sure. I think he was, like, taking out a weed or something. I couldn't really tell. But I gotta say, he is extremely close to an older fan-made design for him. The only real difference being that he actually has legs and doesn't float. I thought this monster was going to be, based off the fan design, there was going to be like a door 50 for the castle, I expect to be like a courtyard type area, and I thought this guy would be like the main encounter. By the way, on floor 3, a lot of people are theorizing. So here's what I think. I think that the first Seek chase... So I don't think Seek's going to play a huge part, since his time to shine was floor 2, you know? So I still think this would be two... Okay, we're going to assume there's 2 Seek chases, a door 50 and a door 100. There may be other ones sprinkled around, like, you know, in floor 2, around door 10, you see figures, stuff like that. But anyways, for main things... I think Seek may have 1 chase. He might be dead, though. Actually, never mind. He was in... Yeah. Seek will have 1. I think Grumble will take over 1. And I think Figure will be at door 100, since he was teased at the end of floor 2. And I think that a new character, perhaps like a king or something, will be in there as well. Anyways, back to this. So we can see he's grabbing one of those no stepping on the grass signs. We've seen it much earlier. Actually, he's painting it. And then we can see him planting these in. So he is the one that plants them in. I really do think he's going to be called the Gardener. So it seems like he kind of, you know, he cuts the grass, you know. He warns people, like, hey, I just cut this. Do not step on this. You know, so if I had to guess, I'd say that he'll be like a pretty nice entity or something. But if you step on the grass, he'll come for you. I guess that's similar to the Divine from Pressure, but, not really. So here, he's walking up the stairs to a cabin, and there's something. We can't see what it is. Some sort of moving thing. It looks like he kills it here. I don't know if it's just the lighting, but to me, this looks like a weed. But not any weed. A Seek weed. You know? Like, Seek made weeds in this guy's garden. So he's an enemy to Seek. I feel like the relations between monsters, they kind of all hate each other, except for, like, fellow Grumbles. I think they all hate, like, each other because they're all just, like, you know, wild animals, kind of, you know? They don't really have, like, allies or stuff or anything. See, it looks like he's killing a weed, possibly a Seek weed. Here we can see he's planting some purple flowers. Those are so familiar for some reason. I know I've seen those before in an earlier teaser. I don't know where though. Again, this just goes to show how he's the one that, you know, upkeeps the garden. Also, this entity looks so cool. He's got a cowboy hat and bandana, which is cool enough. He's got, like, a curious light-colored eyes, and he has a scythe with, like, an overall type thing. He almost looks like a skeleton, kind of, with that arm there. Okay, so we see here we have a little a player has entered the garden. We get a little vision. Yeah, so it seems like I think people are wondering why this is so yellow, I think it's because we're seeing this from the gardener's perspective, and his eyes are yellow, so he, like, sees yellow. I don't know what his relation is to Curious Light, if any at all, but it's interesting. We can hear some voice lines there. So yeah, as I guessed, player steps on the grass, he gets angry. He's like, hey, I just mowed this. And there's the name, The Great Outdoors. I think I missed this. I saw this earlier. We did see one of those trees before. That looked like it had eyes on it. I don't know if it's only red trees that have those eyes. So that could explain the red trees. It's kind of weird, though. So that could either just be a regular birch tree and we're all just weird or drunk. Or it is Seek eyes and there could be a Seek chase, which could be related to those Seek weeds that we saw in the trailer. We do some more info here. So Stardust, of course, we know about that. You can use it to skip early to subfloors rather than having to go all the way to a certain door in the hotel. You know, like for door 60, for the rooms, you gotta go to door 60 and get some items. For this one, you gotta go to door 90 and get some items. Instead of just doing that, just, pay some Stardust. And here you can see that you can find some Stardust inside of a vine chest, presumably in the garden or the Great Outdoors. And if you remember, at the very first Stardust teaser, we were told that it has 2 different uses, and the second one is revealed. We'll get that into a second. Yeah, that's just showcasing the rooms and stuff. Also, in the background, you can see some new UI there. It's pretty cool. Item skins. Now, this is cool. We have had teasers about this. We knew about this. But I was not expecting it to release this update, This is more than just the subfloor. So as we can see here, we have some sort of crucifix with vines on it and a pink flower. And when you crucifix the character, it turns pink. Now, remember before we had a teaser about a pink light. We'll get back to that. But anyways, it looks like you can buy these with knobs. I'm not trying to brag, but me personally, I have 16,000 knobs and nothing really to spend it on. So this is very good, I know that Pressure's adding this too, as well as the Foundation, so this is a good update. And it seems here that there will be Chroma skins that will cost Stardust, which is the second use for Stardust. Now, if I had to guess, if any of you guys have played Grace, you'll know that there's regular cosmetics and super cosmetics. The super cosmetics add, different effects or completely change, different running styles or whatever. And I'm assuming that's what these chromas are and why they'd be so expensive. We do know that Stardust will be hard to find, as skipping to a subfloor will cost 10, which, you can get 10 knobs in 5 seconds, so it's going to be pretty hard to find. Saves. We've heard about these saves before. I don't really need to explain all this. Go watch my shorts if you want to see the saves explained. Again, we see that new compass item. I totally forgot about all the new items that have been leaked as well. I said before that I don't know if every single teaser we've gotten so far will be in this update, but it seems now that it will be. So, item skins, Stardust, everything. Very cool. Alright, then we have some and more. So we get this bookshelf falling down, which was actually shown in an earlier devlog that I didn't cover. They finally fixed the... For those of you who don't know, in the content update, they changed the design for all the bookshelves, but this one specific room with the bookshelf falling was still, old, so they changed it. But here we see a big boy thing. Look at that. We did see a tiny sliver of a guiding light effect on a door in a way earlier devlog. And this is crazy. They just throw this out of nowhere with no context. What the heck is this, At first, I thought it was possibly a new guiding light effect for dupe in one based off the earlier devlog, but this is weird. It looks to be an empty door, but guiding light places a skeleton key there. Usually skeleton keys are only used to go to subfloors. So, if I'm going to make a quick theory here, I have 2 theories. One, it is either going to be similar to the detour feature coming to Pressure, where if you can randomly find this where guiding light can give you a quick, skip a few rooms if you happen to have a skeleton key. Or two, there's a rare chance you can find this, and it teleports you to a random subfloor early on, rather than having to pay Stardust or get there through the hard way. Very mysterious, though. By the way, expect a lot of videos on this. Now this one is weird. This is a new room, and we can see a Seek Eye on it. Again, two things. Either one, this is just a regular new room, and that's just teasing that there's going to be a bunch of new rooms in this update, which there is, I would assume. And yeah, the room looks really cool. It looks to be for the hotel. Or it could be an expansion to the library, but it does have a Seek Eye, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Or two, my other thing was that, remember during the content update, the Floor 2 second Seek Chase was completely revamped. So, you know how in Floor 1, the two Seek Chases are exactly the same. So what if they're revamping the second one to go, like, up these stairs and stuff? Now that would be cool. Yeah, so here, not only do we get a look at the vine creature... Wait, what's that? What's that red thing? Is that just... Oh, that's just... Okay, that's just the guy. Anyways. We do see the weird green-yellow lightning. You know, very, strange. And I think we actually know what this lightning does. I'll go to it in a second. Oh, yeah, here's the Seek tree. You know, that's gotta be Seek Eyes. There's no way that's just birch. And yeah, it is on a red tree, so perhaps all the red trees could be Seek trees or whatever. I wonder how randomized this is gonna be. Again, it's a subfloor. The regular things are randomized, or it could be similar to the Raveyard from Pressure, where it's all just encounter right after encounter. Here we get the cabin. We've seen many teasers for the cabin. I think we've seen that exact picture too. With the bunny, and if you look above the mantle, you can also see the weird skull with glowing eyes that we saw earlier. And here's the big thing. We can see the lightning is flashing like crazy like before outside. And, you know, blah, 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 whoever that is hiding in a closet. Now, this is where I've never been more confident in a theory than this. I think this is going to function exactly like Sorrow from Grace, where once you see the lightning get a little crazy, you have to either hide in a locker or under something or inside, because then or else it will strike you. Now, I do wish that Doors had something like Pressure with documents. That way you could go back and just look at a list of all the entities or something, and not just like how to beat it at the end. But yeah, this is interesting. It's almost like Curious Light's attacking us. We don't really know if Curious Light's a friend or not, if you think about it. But yeah, this is very cool. Sorrow-type monster. We can see here, running through a cabin, there's that skull again. But if we notice here, the player's not just walking, they are running, confirming that this is a chase, which... Okay, I wouldn't say confirming, but there's probably going to be a chase, which is very cool. So I think the chase could either be with the Gardener or Seek. We've had teasers for both. Don't really know. Also, what kind of cabin is this? It's like one room. Whoa. I missed something. Look at that. Okay, I was just looking at the pictures. It's a moon and a cloud. I don't know what these pictures mean, but they're there. Again, look at that Seek tree. I think this is a Seek chase because we can see two red trees here. So maybe all the trees turn red. Like they start turning red, kind of like, instead of Seek Eyes, you get these Seek trees. And then during the chase, they're all red. Just these scary red trees. And here, this is pretty interesting. So the Great Outdoors update, and the Gardener gets knocked into the sign, which either means the player fights back, or the cooler one, kind of like how Seek kind of battles with Grumble during Floor 2. What if Seek is an enemy of the Gardener, you know? The Gardener kills his weeds, or like I said before, they're all wild animals, they fight each other. This would be really cool. You get a really cinematic Seek versus Gardener fight. Wait, never mind. Okay, I would like to apologize. I did not see that before when I first watched this trailer. That was not Seek. That was the Vine thing, confirming that the Gardener is not the only monster here. So he is battling the Vine thing. I have another theory on that. We'll get to that in 1 second. But right here, August 10th. Thankfully, I will not be on vacation, meaning that I will be able to get a video on it. I'll try to do a first reaction video because this looks amazing. I bet my reaction will be crazy. But it also says free access until the 25th. And they did expand on this in the Discord, that instead of having to go to door 90 and get the shears and skeleton key, which, by the way, since you have to, it's much harder to get to the rooms. You got to find 2 lockpicks and a skeleton key. I'm not sure the shears will be 100% guaranteed at the courtyard anymore, just to make it a bit harder to get to, the subfloor. But yeah, free access means that it will not cost Stardust. A little bit of a free trial. You can go there for free, so you can try it out immediately, which is very nice of the developers. Also, I just noticed, pretty interesting, the lightning in the background there wasn't yellow, it was more blue. So the easy answer would be that only certain lightning is the evil lightning, or a Curious Light lightning. Or B, the cooler answer, is that the different colored lightnings is actually Guiding Light and Curious Light fighting. Or I don't know. We don't really know the relation between those two. But there's one more scene at the end here that's really interesting. And it's the flower. Now, we've seen flower teasers before. That one teaser with the flower petal with a pink light emitting off it. People think that this is the pink light. Another architect with the rest of Guiding Light and, all of them. What's the proof to back this up? There's 2 things, really. The flower illuminating pink and the pink crucifix flower skin. But what do I think this is? I think this is the Vine monster. Perhaps his head is like a flower and he's like this big vine thing. Here's what I think. The Gardener was working on this plan, okay? And either it somehow mutated, either Seek did it, or he spilled something, I don't know. But it got really out of control, and it's been completely destroying his garden, So and he's been fighting it. That's why we saw him literally fighting it earlier. And to back up the proof that it's actually a pink light against me, you can see flower petals falling and it glows pink. It's highly unlikely that there is going to be a pink light or a green lightning light, because I'm pretty sure the crucifix has some secret message that talks about the 3 architects, and that painting in the rooms shows 3 lights. So it would be kind of weird that this light isn't mentioned anywhere else, but you never know. And yeah, that ends the trailer. If you look here, there's another video here. Yeah, bye. I'm excited.